Okay, let's move on to the regenerative medicine sort of protocols. It's PRP, which we know a lot about, but maybe you can speak into that and whether you're using stem cells or not. Obviously, there's that whole movement of lipoaspirate and bone marrow aspirate, even if that is done
Sure.
for the scalp or not. But give us sort of a framework how you would decide whether someone has PRP or has stem cells or then does the hair transplants.
Sure. Well, today, obviously, regenerative medicine is a huge part of the practice. I've been involved with the American Head of Anti-Aging. I was part of the first class certification on stem cell therapy that the A4M put together many, many years ago. I was actually on the faculty also at the same time talking about regenerative treatments for hair. PRP is done very differently today than it was years and years ago. In the old days, we used PRP basically with a test tube and a pipette to create the treatment. But now it's obviously a lot more sophisticated. We have tuned in on the dosing strategy. What does that mean? It means we measure the blood counts of the platelets and other formed components, white blood cells and such. We have tuned the process of centrifugation and separation so that we're getting a specific dose of platelets. We want about 1.5 million platelets per microliter. That's what the clinical data shows. That's what the research supports in terms of mobilizing stem cells, as well as creating new blood vessel formation, so vascular neogenesis, which are all direct targets of the PRP. We know how to deploy it properly into the scalp. We also know what kind of biologic scaffolds to use with it. So we might use perinatal biologics. I was one of the first to use placental-derived tissue with PRP in combination to prolong the effects of PRP. Our standard PRP is no longer a series of treatments. It's now once a year, basically 10 to 14 months of boost. We could use these biologic scaffolds. We can use synthetic scaffolds such as polydioxanone threads or other things in the scalp to actually prolong the effects of the hair follicle function from the PRP application. We're deploying, remember, about 11 billion platelets at the time of the procedure. And so the biologic and synthetic scaffolds prolong that effect. It works together, as you know, as a regenerative medicine expert. Cells, signals, and scaffolds are the troika or trifecta, if you will, of regenerative medicine. If you have all those three things together, you can potentiate the results. So it's a comfortable process. We don't do it in a painful way anymore. If you've gotten a PRP down the block from your dermatologist and they didn't use local anesthetic, shame on them. And unfortunately for you, that stress response probably inhibited any kind of potential result that you could expect from the PRP. So the physiologic response to stress is cortisol. Cortisol is a hair follicle killer. So if you had a painful PRP, that's like trying to drive a car with your foot on the brake and the foot on the gas at the same time. Not a great idea. So a comfortable ring block is applied so you don't feel the procedure. And then once that process is done, we can also deploy exosome therapy into the mix. We can apply low-level laser light therapy before and after. We can use a treatment like nano-V, which is a signaling to the body of reducing oxidative stress and stimulating the healing process. We can stimulate the release of EPCs, which are endothelial progenitor cells or stem cells from the bone marrow using nutraceutical supplements like what we call StemVoke or the Recruiter or other products. So it's a very comprehensive regenerative treatment that we have today. And it's not a one size fits all. Most people will start off with PRP, our standard. It's working well. You can expect about a 20 to 50% improvement in all areas that are miniaturizing with a single treatment. But then you have to repeat it. And when you repeat it, you will maintain or enhance the result from there moving forward.